Fort Meade. Today we're here at the History Museum and we're going to be highlighting some of the new additions. Come along as Mr. Chuck Hancock explains some of them to us.
Yeah, we want to welcome everyone and show one of the nice new additions we've had here at the museum within the last month. This is an old Victrola, probably from the late 20s, early 30s, somewhere along, maybe a little bit earlier. We haven't really dated it yet, but it's in such fine condition. Very nice mahogany wood on it. It has the speaker box where you open that and it becomes louder, and it also has a record player, a record storage under here, and several boxes of records that came with it, and they are from the Victor Record Company. There's RCA records in here. There's a lot of neat music, but this, to give you an idea of how this sounds and of its age, it still has the original velvet turntable, and then as we start it, this thing is older than I am, so I have to learn how to work it. So we have to turn that on first. Then we place the needle. By closing that door, and it will take it down a little bit. There's no actual volume control. But the speaker is in the arm and needle mechanism as they made it back then. There's the speaker there. But a very nice piece of antique American history right there. Another item we have here at the museum, it's been here a long time. It was hanging out underneath the Alma Hendrick Memorial Shed, and I looked at it for a long time when I started here, and I thought, why can't that be restored? But this was an old neon light sign that used to hang at the intersection about where the Veterans Memorial does now next to the City Hall, along in there between there and the fire department before this highway was widened, and it's probably somewhere about 70 to 80 years old. It was all metal. It is all metal, steel. It had a flashing mechanism in the back. That's been removed because it weighed about 60, 70 pounds just by itself. And the rust and the age had gotten to it. But took and repainted it, and it says exactly what it did before, the business district pointing the way to downtown. And this is going to be placed out in front of the museum here at the corner, pointing the way back downtown, just on the opposite end of town what it originally was. So it's going to be a nice little piece to those folks that can remember that far back seeing it at the highway. They'll see it on the other end of town now. The third neatest addition to the museum we've had, it's been really a fun part to see this little thing again. Some of you that have seen my personal Facebook page have seen it a little bit here and there, but this was a one-person go-kart, excuse me, and it was originally bought by Greenwood Chevrolet, Oldsmobile, back then in the late 70s. And it was a promo car, and with decals and everything as an Oldsmobile. And Mr. Marion Stokes used to drive this, leading most all of the parades down Broadway and through town. And at some point it became a sheriff's car in the 80s, and Marion Stokes' son Mike was a deputy then, and Mike got to drive it as a deputy sheriff's car in the parades. Then it went to a Fort Meade police car, and as the Fort Meade Police Department went through the early mid 90s, late sometime in there, I forget, but they retired the car, and it went into pretty much it's been in a retirement home for the last 20 years back at Greenwood in their body shop area. And we got a call, and Mr. Bob Elliott wanted to know if we wanted to have this as part of the museum, and said absolutely. So we did a little bit of body repair to it, painted it back as much as we can, and it's just a neat little piece of history that is going to once again be leading the Christmas parades, and put it back into work, and everybody's going to just really enjoy seeing this. It's still got the siren in the inside, and it's all original, and the only thing added when we redid this, added a little bit of headlights back with a detail, and I'll push this forward, and added some tail lights to it, and added its own tag of Museum 1. So that's our museum automotive transportation around here. So we're going to let our camera lady take this for a ride and demonstrate to you how great it still works. And thanks to Mr. Brent Driscoll, he got this engine fine-tuned, and it will run close to about 35 to 40 miles an hour. So we're going to give you a brief show on how this thing is still going after all these years.
Well, Savannah, I know that you enjoy going down to the museum and talking with Mr. Hancock. I know you especially like driving that go-kart, right?
I did. I loved it. It was so much fun.
Okay. Well, we look forward to seeing it in future parades whenever we get started back, and and the museum looks forward to having people down so that they can see what has been highlighted.
Yes.
And we just like to say a special shout out to the maker of our hometown highlight cups, Mrs. Young. She made those especially for Fort Meade, and of course they are adorning the colors of Fort Meade. So we just appreciate Mr. Hancock.
We do so much.
Thank you.
This Saturday, August 21st, is my husband Jacob Britt's birthday. If you see him around town, tell him happy birthday. I love you, baby. Have a great birthday.
Savannah, we have been highlighting certain parts of the city and certain buildings and whatever, but we want to also highlight people.
Right.
So tell our viewers what they need to do in order to be highlighted on Hometown Highlights.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so we're highlighting any good event in your life. So it could be something like a birthday or an anniversary or just anything you'd like to celebrate. And you can come into the library and ask us to film you, and Miss Rose or myself will come out and we'll film you just giving a little shout out, or if you'd like to do a longer segment like you've seen with Miss McCutcheon or with Mr. Hancock, then let us know what you'd like to talk about and we can give you more information on filming and things like that. But yeah, just stop by or give us a call.
So Fort Meade is an exciting, quaint community, and we have some people who are doing some phenomenal things, and we have we're like a little family. So
Yes, ma'am.
you know, when families have celebrations, we like to hear about them. So come down so you can be a part of Hometown Highlights.